Tēnā koutou katoa. He mihi mahana, he mihi aroha, kia koutou katoa ngā iwi take o te ao, ngā tuakana, ngā teina, ngā tungane, ngā tuahine. He mihi aroha kia koutou katoa. He uri tēnei no te tai tukarau o Aotearoa nei. E te tau tōku pāpā no Ngāti Kau ki Whangaroa, e te tau tōku māma no Hokianga Hakapau Karakia. I give greetings to you all, my Indigenous brothers and sisters of the world. I hail from the far north of New Zealand, on my father's side from the east coast, Whangaroa, and on my mother's side from the west coast, Hokianga. It's wonderful to be here with you today. So it's my opportunity to present to you all about Māori women's development, and more particularly how we ensure that we can help our women, our Indigenous women, raise finance for businesses. In actual fact, our primary mission is to ensure that Wāhine Māori, Indigenous women of New Zealand, can have equitable access to finance. And in doing so, we know that they have a better chance of participating equitably, socially, and environmentally, and economically. And everything we do is around empowering our women. I want to go through our background story because we have been around for a while. In actual fact, we were established by the Māori Women's Welfare League in 1987. And then in 1997, we became an incorporated trust, or the Māori Women's Development Inc. It wasn't until 2012, though, that we became really focused in more depth around pastoral care. And then in around about 2010 onwards, we also started focusing on youth development around the economic arena. But really everything we do is around training and empowering our women. So our primary focus is around our loans. We are a second chance lender, which means that we don't lend unless you've been declined by a commercial bank. Also, we can lend a minimum of 10,000 New Zealand dollars and a maximum of $50,000. In actual fact, our interest rate is very low at 3% over 5 years. We do require a business plan, and I'll go through a little bit later, and as well as security, because this is not a grant, it is a loan. It is about ensuring our women can participate equitably in the finance industry. So here are the domains or the features that we ensure that our women focus on. Obviously, we want to ensure that they do have a business plan, but a plan that is very succinct and precise. We want to also ensure that it's in their words. We frown upon businesses who come to us where someone else has written it, because we want to know that our women understand every aspect of their businesses. Of course, we want to know where they're from, particularly from a tribal perspective. Not only tribal, but also where do they live currently. Of course, this type of data is really crucial. Also, we want to know that they've done their SWOT analysis, their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Really making sure that they've planned for everything. And more importantly, what are they doing with the money? Is this money ensuring that they can start their business, or that they can actually expand their businesses as well? So we want to make sure that the money is being put to good use. The most important thing around a business plan is that it is succinct. You know, we do not want a 100-page thesis. We want it to be really precise and short, basically. I now want to introduce you to one of our amazing businesses that is actually based in the far north of New Zealand as well, close to where I'm from.
Ko taratara te maunga, ko Whangaroa te moana, ko Kaia te awa, ko Ngāpui te iwi, ko Lanai ahau. I am from Tai Tukurau Honey Limited. We are primary honey producers. We run around approximately 4,500 hives at the moment. We have just recently branched into doing our own extraction and packing and exporting our product overseas. Success for us would be that we are able to stay in this region and offer employment to our whānau and build on the community, and working with the whenua and the people. It's just amazing. Challenges within our business, one of the main ones would be the financial situation of the business at times. Basically, there's been times when we're up till midnight communicating with honey buyers and exporters, just organising sales and making sure that there's money there to keep the business flowing smoothly. Balancing my professional life and personal life has been a challenge. It's just that at the early stages of starting a business up, it just takes all your time, 24/7 basically. Team building is a critical part of our business. Our crew, our employees, our whole team works really, really hard. So as soon as there's a little bit of downtime, it's like we get together and we enjoy each other's company outside of work. In regards to accelerating the business, I think for us it's been really important to build relationships with people within the industry and to take up any opportunity of training or education that's out there, not only for Rob and I as business owners, but also as our beekeepers, keeping them up to date with what's going on in the industry. I believe what we have to offer is unique in the way that we have control of our product from land to brand. So we not only do the beekeeping, but we also do the extraction of our honey and the packing and then export it ourselves overseas. So in the early stages of our business, we approached Maori Women's Development for financial support. We were struggling along to get resources. Ever so grateful they came on board and believed in us and supported us during that time of hardship. To other waihingi Māori that are looking at starting business, I'd say be prepared what you're looking at doing, look into it well, get to know people in that industry and get support. And we're more than willing for anyone to come along and we'll guide them through some of these options that are out there. I'd just like to say thank you to Māori Women's Development for their support. We're ever so grateful. They've been awesome. And I know they're just a phone call away if I ever need support or advice, guidance somewhere. So thank you very much.
I mentioned before about pastoral care. In fact, it's very, very critical for us to ensure that we have good pastoral care because this is about the success of our businesses. And so it starts with our inquiries. You know, inquiries are also about assessing where our businesses are at, whether they're starting their business, what types of assistance they need, whether or not they need good financial management, you know, whatever it might be, we really do hone in and assess our business as well alongside them. Or whether or not they are expanding their businesses. You know, our businesses are at varying stages of their lives, and basically they are at various stages of the pipeline of support that we provide. So once they've been assessed, we then identify which part of the pipeline they then go to. And if they end up at the Purple Circle with any boss, that is actually a 3-day business training program. And of course, they will at least finish a business plan. However, this training program is very holistic because the premise of it, or the foundation of the program, has life coaching in it. Why? Because this is about the person, not just the plan. Unless that person is being supported every step of the way, particularly around their attitudes and behaviours towards different aspects of the business plan, they will continue to struggle. Then they may be referred to our tiaka or our business life coach, mentor, and specialist advisor support, which I'll go into more next. Or they may go through to our He Papa Pūtea program, which is really around managing finances, not just for the business, but also personally as well. Once again, it's around what we've learnt in relation to our money stories, how in fact we do manage our responsibilities around paying debt, around meeting our tax obligations. So all of these things are quite crucial within our pipeline. So now I go into our Te Aka mentor ecosystem. As I mentioned before, we have life coaches, whether it's wellness, life coaching or business wealth life coaching. We also have business strategists, human resource, retail support, and also our specialist advisors who are, obviously around accounting and also legal support, particularly around IP. We have a number of chartered accountants and also marketing as well. So we found during COVID that there were two key aspects of demand on us. Number one, life coaching, because of the stress that was involved in our businesses throughout that period, but also around businesses that were in tourism and retail. So many of those businesses were forced to pivot into different industries or just change their delivery altogether. Luckily, the Te Aka Mentor service was crucial during this period, and many of our businesses were able to continue quite successfully. I now want to introduce you to another client, because this is getting into the diverse range of clients that we do have on hand.
Kia ora, ko Tracy O'Sullivan tōku ingoa, ko Te Arawa Te Iwi, ko Te Arawa Te Waka, ko Ngāti Whakaue Te Hapu. So our business, Neveluso Medical, currently is a health tech company, and we serve 7,000 children across New Zealand doing digital health services in schools, kohanga reo and early childhood. So essentially we've put digital health equipment into schools and early childhood and kohanga reo. The child turns up to a time allocated sort of clinic time. They get seen and it's put through on the app. We get a weight, we get a temperature. If it's a skin condition, we take a photo. If it's a sore throat, we take a throat swab. So essentially all that information's bundled up, sent to the cloud, and then the telehealth team, which is in the office, they look at the cases and they design a treatment management plan for that child. They send that to the doctor, they look at the cases, they approve them, and when they're approved, the prescription is sent to the pharmacy for the family to pick up. It's about trying to make things really seamless. It's quite liberating running your own company and being sort of in charge of your own destiny. I'm a Maori woman. I'm a mother of 7. I trained as a nurse. I live in Northland, and I'm a director of a health tech company that's doing something that nobody else is doing, and we have aspirations to go global. So that would be unique. It is a challenge to balance the personal and professional, and as a couple, that comes with extra challenges as well. Our son's been diagnosed with a condition that requires quite a lot of attention, so I've had to reduce my presence to be available for him. But we do pretty well, and I don't think the kids have suffered too much for it. So we've learned that you have to take risks to accelerate your business, and we've also realised that as you grow bigger, that you need more skill sets. It's a real challenge getting the right balance of people in your business to help you to accelerate. MWDI gave us a loan, which was really amazing because it was at a point when we really needed it, and it was at that point where we were wanting to accelerate, and so that was extremely valuable, and they made that whole process really easy. Amazing. What I'd like to say to wahine Māori who would like to start up a business would be, go for it for a start. Get out there and network with lots of people, talk to people who have done it before, get advice, build a really good team around you of people who can be those advisory people. Anyone that you know, but definitely build a team of people around you to help when you start, yeah. Kia ora to Maori Women's Development Incorporated for giving us the loan that they gave us, which really made a massive impact on our ability to move forward as a company. It was just, the whole process was awesome, and so yeah, big kia ora to them.
Now I'll go into some of the other industries that our women are engaged in. You'll see on the left that the majority of those businesses are now more male-dominated businesses. So we're very excited about the quite diverse range of businesses that are now coming our way. You know, things like construction, engineering, agribusiness. We have quite a few health and fitness businesses owned by women as well. But the more, I suppose, uh, common types of businesses on the right are around hospitality, beauty, consulting, and retail and administration. Of course, I did mention before that tourism retail were particularly hit during COVID, but through our assistance, we're able to help them to change their direction, to pivot, or to become a much more of a local tourism and retail outlet. I also wanted to mention e-commerce. So, you know, when you raise finance for a business, I was also intrigued to find when I recently did some e-commerce training to find that print on demand, if you're not sure on what that is, basically there's a company throughout the world, you know, there are companies throughout the world who actually hold stock and they also do printing on the products for you. They then ship it directly to their clients, and all you do is provide the image or the design to place onto those products. And so that's called print on demand. And I would have to say that that is the most low startup cost business that I've ever come across. You know, you don't require to hold, you're not required to hold stock. There are integrated fees so that the fees come out before it's passed on, the balance is passed on to you. All you do is engage and market your clients. And from a low cost or raising finance to start a business, I would highly recommend e-commerce, particularly print on demand. And in particular, for our Indigenous group here in New Zealand, we worked closely with Gelato, who are a global print on demand service, and they were absolutely amazing. They developed a training program for us. They also have looked after us both pre, during, and post our training, and they are very, really wanting to work alongside Indigenous people. So I highly recommend print on demand and Gelato. The other thing I want to express is that we would not get anywhere without our collaboration, whether it's with government, and in our case, we work with Te Pere Kokiri, which is the Ministry of Maori Development. We work alongside local government organisations, universities, research centres, and other like-minded organisations like ourselves. And, you know, without that, we would not get anywhere, basically. Another thing I wanted to mention is that the future is in our digital domain. And really, food for thought for me is recommending that we all look at open banking. Here in New Zealand, we have fintech companies starting to delve into open banking, or what they now call digital currencies. You know, and so I really highly recommend that, because they are able to use the technology to really escalate the ability for Indigenous people to now really create our own financial institutions or our own financial services. So that's something to look out for. If you don't have one in your country, I'm happy to pass you on to my contacts. If you just contact me directly, I'm happy to open you up to my contacts here in New Zealand, and they can talk to you about maybe similar organisations in your part of the world. Now I get to the best part of what we do, which is about working with our youth. You know, we really are about ensuring that we future prospect our youth in the world of commerce or business. And we actually run a number of training programs, one around entrepreneurship, another around ensuring that they understand how solving problems is what really business is all about. But for them, they solve the problems for on behalf of corporates. But really, we expose them to business. We expose them to larger scale of the corporate business, and as well as learning how to start their own businesses. It's a lot of fun, and we thoroughly enjoy working alongside our youth. We will also be launching a business training program in our own language, actually next February, and we'll be doing that in Parliament. So it's about being creative alongside our youth and really, once again, identifying gaps that they require, that exist for them in the world of business. So I'd just like to end there. You've now seen that we can assist our women to raise finances for their businesses. But for us within Māori Women's Development, it is not just about the finance. It is more importantly about how we ensure that they are successful, how we prop them up, how we empower them, and how we close the gaps for them. And really, that to me is a core aspect of what we do. Nō reira, he mihi nui kia koutou, he mihi aroha anō. Goodbye, and see you again soon.